The Soviet Union managed to build its economy while under siege by the Western powers. Albert Kahn. Ford factories. Mass grain exports. Make better consumer goods. Or draw 25. Soviet Union. Last words. Are those trees talking? Roman troops. US troops. The coalition. Napoleon. The coalition. The coalition. Napoleon. Me wasting 1 hour of my life watching YouTube documentary about my country's history, in case the author got something wrong, and I'd need to correct him in the comment that none is going to read. You ain't built for this Western Front, son. Boudica, I got an army of 230,000 warriors. Romans. Romans, my small army are more organized and intelligent than yours. Boudica, POV. Laurie Torney when you ask him to fight communists. You son of a bitch I'm in. When you wanted to play Johnny Comes Marching Home. But instead you're listening to Johnny I Hardly Knew Ya. My phone falls on the ground. Me. Please don't break. My phone. The Japanese monarchy be like the longest royal lineage in history. Essentially a figurehead monarchy since the 12th century. Royal Navy. Quality trained crew will bring us victory. French Navy. Stronger hulls will keep us in the fight longer. Spanish Navy. Mucho cannons equal sign mucho damage. A moderately successful amusement park before 1930. A horrific fire. You are an Iko-Iki warrior monk, and Oda Nobunaga shows up for another beating. He turns up with a bunch of stuff used for starting fires. City of Cleveland. How bad can pollution be? The Cuyahoga River between 1868 and 1969. Berlin Zoo gets bombed heavily by the Soviets, killing many animals. Starving Berliners. Elvis. Wants to perform overseas? His manager. How about no? The Soviet Union, after losing 5 times more men, but still making territorial gains in the Winter War. Alright, we'll call it a draw. Woodrow Wilson suffers a serious stroke. His wife. Well, I guess I'm in charge now. World War II. Historians. World War I. Napoleonic Wars. 7 Years' War. King Tamar of Georgia. Her first husband, Yuri Bogolyubsky, after she divorced and expelled him in 1188. I don't want to play with you anymore. Gerald Ford going from member of the House to vice president to president of the United States within less than 1 year. Parkour, the Kelpie. He does exactly what I do, the each USGE, but more violently. Reconstruction-era governments. Federal troops. Southern segregationist politicians after segregation ends. We were bad, but now we're good. Your ship got torpedoed. Panic. You survived the sinking. Calm. You were on board the USS Indianapolis. Panic. I'll live forever by having a bloodline that will never end. I'll live forever by changing the geopolitical landscape. I'll live forever by progressing science. I'll live forever by investing tons of money in preserving letters that say I sell bad copper and abuse slaves. The first Trotskyist to become leader of a nation was the son of Chiang Kai-shek. Until we meet again. 50-year-old rifle in my head. 50-year-old rifle in reality. A British soldier when he sneezes, and everyone around him says, Gesundheit. Sumer for 4,000 years. Soil salinity. House spiders when humans start building permanent static dwellings. It's free real estate. The Soviets learning Western reactors take hundreds of years to match their power output. This is the most ghetto shit I've ever seen in my life. Americans during the Great Depression. Northern Tissue inventing splinter-free toilet paper. When you learn that Genghis Khan helped save the environment during his time by drastically reducing carbon dioxide emissions. He achieved this by killing 40 million peasants. You are blamed for the fire of Rome. You decide to rebuild Rome with art and beauty. You perform in the theater in front of your subjects as an emperor. You want to encounter the rebel armies by showing them theatrical performances. History teacher. Can anyone tell me an important medieval battle? Me. 60-year-old military rifle in my head. 60-year-old military rifle in reality. When Pasteur confirms that surgeons should wash their hands. Ignaz Semmelweis. They called me a madman. POV. You just tried to assassinate Andrew Jackson and both your pistols misfired. Louis Pasteur seeing TikTokers drinking raw milk. Jonathan Swift with 10 pages. Modern protests with hundreds of people. Otto von Bismarck establishing universal male suffrage in hope that peasants vote for conservatives. Industrialization. The German government never reapportioning the districts. 1912. Stalwarts. Civil rights. This is brilliant. Corruption. But I like this. Governor John Peter Altgeld. Will you listen to me? I am not an anarchist. He's right. He's an anarchist and a communist. 1924 Democratic Platform. Human rights are important. The 1924 Democratic nominee, John W. Davis. I missed the part where that's my problem. 1865. I never thought I would fight a war alongside a Brazilian. And how about with a friend? I could do that. Killing the king, then becoming tyrants themselves. Oliver Cromwell. Maximilian Robespierre. If I had a nickel for every time a Chinese government retreated to Taiwan, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot. But it's weird that it happened twice. Goebbels depicts the perfect German as tall, muscular, blonde, ultra-handsome chads. Also Goebbels. When you're a junior conspirator, but the president will only surrender to you, and your co-conspirators don't want to shed blood. Well, I guess I'm in charge now. Canadians 99.99% of the time. Canadians in a war. I can't wait to learn more about post-colonial African history. Random general takes power, becomes a dictator, and kills 100,000 people, gets assassinated and replaced by another violent general who kills twice the amount of people. Dumb Americans who think France is a bunch of cheese-eating surrender monkeys. Gigachad Americans like me who know that France was on the winning side of the largest and most important war of all time, the American Revolutionary War. You're an FBI agent tasked with watching a young guy from Chicago. He gives everyone free breakfast and calls for radical socialism. He brokers a truce between all Chicago gangs and brings in Hispanic support. He gets white Confederate sympathizers to join his cause. Chinese communists dealing with a deposed monarch? Russian communists dealing with a deposed monarch? Bosnians. Can we go to the beach? Croatia. Absolutely fucking no. Pharmaceutical company Grunenthal pushing thalidomide into US market after being approved in Canada and multiple European nations. Frances Oldham Kelsey and all her superiors at the FDA. Average price of rent. Before 1950, most US families rented their homes. Renters in 1931 paid an average of $18 per month to their landlord in rent. We must go back. Meanwhile, at the Berlin Conference, I want to colonize the resource-rich Congo. No, it's mine. Let's claim the whole continent of Africa. Yeah, Treaty of Tordesillas go brrr. Be Australian. Advocate combined arms warfare in World War I. Be last man knighted on the field of battle. Lead several key institutions in Australia post-war. Despite all his titles instructed, his tombstone only have his name on it. Die. Adobe has developed software that can detect Photoshop in an image. Just Europeans after the First Crusade for no reason. Wait a minute, I hate Jews. Join Liechtenstein Army. Keep farming. Italian farmer. Therapist. So how angry are you today? Me? Show me the wife of Napoleon. I said the real wife of Napoleon. Perfection. Brezhnev. Doesn't want an anti-communist president elected in the USA. USA. Elect an anti-communist president anyway. Brezhnev and an anti-communist president.